It is a little windy out here today, guys. I am at the new wood yard and we are doing some construction of the wall that's going to define the perimeter of the new wood yard. And I've just been out here looking around. I don't know. I'm one of these people that you got to sit and look, you know, and try to figure out where you want stuff to go. A number of you guys have asked if I can give a better view of the situation here, just so you can get your minds around everything. So I thought I would try to accomplish this here right now. So here we are, guys. That is the owner. He's moving blocks and we're building the wall. So this is the road. And you know, this is this road goes all the way into this back lot. That's not part of my property. So we're gonna go from here all the way down to here. Okay, there's my truck and here is the hoop house. So all of this, I think, guys, I'm not good with numbers. I think this is 220 feet this way and maybe even the same amount this way. The vision would be we're going to have the gate right here so that the log trucks are just going to back in, unload, and leave. Now, a number of you had said, you know, to avoid this backing up kind of a thing and allow the log trucks to come in one way, unload, and go back out the other. But it just seems that that is going to tear up the ground, even though this is pretty hard. You know, some of these guys don't raise their axles and, you know, that stuff gets tore up after a while. So I think the best way is just to go in and out. So he is laying down these blocks and getting them in place. And then the gate is going to be bolted in between the gap that we're going to be leaving there. Here in the foreground, these blocks will be moved out and I'm going to have the Japa sitting right here. And the live deck will be here, the machine will be here, the cleaner will be here, and the cleaner is just going to spit wood right into my trailer, and then I can just pull it down here. All right. The logs, I hope to have a mountain of logs right there, and the drying yard is going to be down where my truck is. The hoop house comes with this property. I'm going to have a shipping container too to help lock up my stuff. I don't want to make it that easy on the thieves. So the shipping container is going to go down on the other side of the hoop house where you see that block sticking out. I'm going to be looking at a shipping container, getting that brought in. So that's what we got going on here, you know. The drying yard, I'm going to be stacking wood still, guys. So I would envision just rows and rows and rows of firewood on pallets, probably 2 pallets wide, and I'll be able to pull my truck and trailer through in between each row to broadside load. Just get started from there. If you look way off in the distance, there are 3 bins, and this place used to have, I'm going to move out over here. I'm walking on this wall right now. This place used to sell mulch. And that is what you see down here. You can see some color staining. And the owner was talking to me about considering, you know, selling mulch because he says there's money in that. And, you know, this is where the mission of this yard is going to be for mostly production. I don't see us being a full service, fully staffed location. But if that time were to come, you know, I think that this area's got more opportunity than just selling firewood. And that also gets into that philosophical discussion about local pickup, you know. I don't know, guys. You know, I think you've known me long enough now that I do things differently. And I don't get local pickup. You know, the majority of phone calls that I get when the customer doesn't want to pay my price, they always say, you know, well, how much is it if I come pick it up? And I tell them I don't have local pickup. What I am trying to accomplish selling firewood is make a living out of it. So I do whatever I can to maximize my price per quart. I separate by species. I only sell dry firewood. I try to avoid muddy logs. All right. We split our wood smaller. We stack it in single file rows, and I only do delivery. And that's because delivered firewood is probably twice as expensive than local pickup. Up the road, especially in this area, you get out into the country, there's a lot of firewood for sale. And I'm just telling you what a quart of firewood goes for pickup. Guys, that's what I pay for it. And I am still able to apply my business practices to that quart of firewood, and I can double and sometimes triple the amount of money that I paid for that same quart. So why do I want to sell my firewood cheap? Now, and that's not to say that I don't have some ideas on what I can do to sell firewood out of this lot, maybe without even me being here, kind of like that roadside stand thing. But I don't know if that honor system would necessarily work. If I'm in this to make money, you accept certain amount of loss, theft, or what retailers would call shrink. You accept that because that's just the price of doing business. But when you are a sole proprietor, there is that emotional connection that you have with your product. And there are times too, it's kind of weird, you sell your firewood and you still think, I don't know, am I making enough money with this? Do I really want to sell it for this dollar amount? It's kind of weird. But that is my thought process with this. I think that the sky is the limit here. But am I in a position just to open this up to the public and hit the ground running? I don't think so. It is still just me. I don't have a crew. And I am not the kind of person that wants to come here and sit around all day long waiting for someone to show up. I think that short time of getting this business up and running out at my own property, like I said, I think it spoiled me. That is nice. And that's what I learned about delivery is, okay, your customer comes first, but you can still control your schedule. You can schedule your deliveries and you can calculate how much money you're going to make in a day, and you're going to have it, and exactly when you're going to start and when you're going to be done. If you're open, for the public, for drive-in traffic, you sit around and you wait. Some people might come, some people might not come. I just know that finding an employee that I am comfortable with, I think it's very possible, but that's also a part of the business that I don't understand yet. I lack the skills on how to hire, the legal documentation, the paycheck, all that kind of stuff. I don't know any of that. It's not saying that I can't learn it, but also at the same time, I'm chasing my tail now, getting this woodyard built. So we are in late February right now. We have had this unseasonably warm break in the temperatures, but it has allowed me to get out here and just visualize this and see what I need to do to make this functional. And it just happened to be on a day when the owner's out here, defining the space, and we're getting this wall built. We are thinking that the wall will be two blocks tall, and then we have the big gate, that goes in the middle of it. This is the wall, and there are the logs and the hoop house. So this is the far corner of it. And we're thinking that we're going to be 2 blocks tall for this side of the wall, and down between here and the neighboring property is barbed wire. A lot of people had pointed out, and trust me, that has absolutely been on my mind, about theft. And believe it or not, that was my career for 22 years. Was loss prevention, private security. My brain is tuned into thievery, preventing it. One thing that I had learned is that thieves are just like shoppers. They're looking for convenience. They want in, they want out, and they don't want a lot of hassle in between. What I'm trying to do is just to make it a little bit more of a challenge for a person to steal, And when you think about too what's at risk, you know, how much is a stick of firewood worth to you? You know, yes, it's theft. Yes, it will tick me off, but it's not going to put me out of business. You know, it's not going to hurt until it, you know, it gets too much of a problem. The challenge with, you know, not addressing it though is if you make it that much easier on thieves, they're going to start with your firewood, and then they move on to the bigger stuff. You know, it's like with retail. You know, there's always going to be shoplifting, but the challenge with shoplifting is that if you do not address it, it's just going to get worse, and then the robberies start. And you know, that is those are life-changing events for a lot of people. So my goal here though is just to first take away the convenience of thievery, define the space of the wood yard, and just give this more of a professional appearance too. But that's where I think that shipping container could play a big role. I'm in the market for a shipping container, okay? And you know, these are things I've never done before. I'd never even thought about owning a shipping container. You know, a shipping container looks like a semi-truck trailer, but it just sits on the ground. You know, there's no axles or anything underneath it. But you can get them locked up pretty good. And you know, when you think about things that are precious, you know, the tractor, some of the attachments, okay, you gotta secure these things, and that's the way I'm going to approach that. So that shipping container will go down in this area, but that won't be coming until later in this build process. I also told you too that Ohio Wood Burner is still a functioning business. I still got to make deliveries. In fact, I just came back from a delivery and you know, ran into the owner here moving these blocks. But the reality is I got to have my logs, and I can't be bringing my new logs to where I'm making firewood right now, you know, which is at my place, because I got to get those all made. Once all those logs are made, I'm bringing the machines, everything over to here. And you know, I just can't bring the machines here when there's no logs to be made. I would be behind the game. So I have it worked out with the owner, and he's letting me bring in these logs, and we're just getting everything put into here. The challenge right now in this time of the year is that there's not a lot of wood getting moved because it's just mud. You know, a lot of the logging crews are mudded out of the woods. So what logs you can get your hands on though, they're covered in mud. I still got to get my logs. We already have well documented the challenges of a firewood delivery service when you have no firewood to deliver. And you know, the whole purpose too of moving here, there's a lot of reasons why we moved here, but the one is obviously it's going to make us a more functioning and professional firewood service because it's going to be easier to get these logs in. So this is the far end of the property, and there's the hoop house and my truck, and then the logs. So just to give you a better idea of the scale, and this hole right there is the main gate to get in, and it's just going to be back in, back out. And I was talking with the owner too, and he agrees. He thinks that's best in the long run. You know, about the trucks not having to turn, because you know that turning, he said, because he's a you know, used to own the trucking company that was here. He used to have a place, you know, that was asphalt, and you know, just the trucks turning on it over time, you just tears the asphalt up. So it's just, I think this is the right way to go. So what is on my list of things to do now, guys? I have city hall kind of stuff that I have to do. I got permits that I have to apply for to open a business, to put up signs. After city hall, it's just a matter of me getting ready for the big move. And I'm going to be reaching out to my good friends at Lepo Rents, my Bobcat dealer. And I'll be renting a machine that's going to be able to pick up the Japa, which is close to 5,000 pounds. So it's got to be probably that telehandler again. I got to get all that firewood, all those logs processed into firewood. And a lot of you guys had asked, I'm not bringing what I'm making at my old wood yard here. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. I also think too, there's a level of convenience, you know, because that's where I spend the night. My truck sits. There's just a level of convenience where if I have a delivery, I could just go out there and just throw it into my truck and you know, and then head on down the road. But after that wood is processed and sold, I think everything is going to be here. So there you go, guys. Another day of progress here at the new wood yard. I hope you guys are enjoying this, and I am greatly appreciating all of your input. And it's neat to see that you guys are just as excited as I am making this happen. I'm serious. I started with a Poulin and a pickup, and look at this. This is really cool. And the last thing, guys, we are still going to have that open house, and man, if you can come, that would be great. I don't have a specific date and time yet, but look for it to be on the last weekend of April, either on the Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure. But we are in Northeast Ohio. We're north of Youngstown and Warren. If you look at the map, there's Mosquito Lake. We're in that general area. If you need a hotel stay, I can point you guys in the right direction. But let's wait until we figure out the official time and day, okay? But it'd be great if you could all come. And bring your gloves, because you got some stacking to do when you get here. Rules are rules. And whoever stacks the most wood can be in the running for Ohio Wood Burner Employee of the Month, pizza party, and the preferred parking spot. It's up for grabs. All right, guys. I hope everyone has a great day.